Hey everybody, what's going on? All right, it is December, and I got an itch to make a video. Probably because my alternative was doing the Christmas decorations, and I'm trying to put that off as long as I possibly can because, well, I'm me. I gotta say, part of the struggle of having your own YouTube channel is like, what do I want to talk about next? And there's like 5,000 things that float through your brain, but you know, it's also like, well, does anybody want to hear me talk about that? And I mean, I'm just kind of getting to the point right now where I've been struggling with that a lot, but I feel like I've reached kind of a turning point, and that doesn't mean you should expect me to post 4 videos a day like Mr. Pete Pardo, but I just don't care. I don't care anymore about, like, and not that I really ever did. I've always kind of just sort of followed my heart on these things. How many people are going to watch this? Is anybody going to comment? Who's going to care? Whatever. I could not be less interested right now. I want to talk more about bands that I listened to and still listen to this day and freaking love, that I mention to other people sometimes and they're like, I think I might have heard of them once. Or who? Or I never listened to that. I don't know anything about that. And I'm talking about like Keel and Helix, and I already reviewed the Heaven album, Knocking on Heaven's Door, and like nobody watched it. And so if you're watching this, go back and watch that review. That freaking album kicks ass. Give it a chance. Just, you can hear little clips of the songs like I like to do, and maybe it'll turn you on to them. The one I'm going to talk about today is one of my favorite albums, Rough Cutt's debut album from 1985. Yeah, 1985. They were on Warner Brothers. They were managed by Wendy Dio. They had a songwriting help on this album from Ronnie James Dio and Craig Goldy. That's interesting, isn't it? Because Ronnie put out an album with Vivian Campbell in 1985 before Vivian got fired and Craig Goldy got hired, right? Okay, anyway, you guys probably know all that. But anyway, I didn't realize that until like just now, before I started recording. I was looking at this and I'm like, Craig Goldy? What? I knew about Ronnie helping out with it, but I just found that fascinating. Anyway, okay, so that's Rough Cutt right there. Pretty cool band. These guys were around LA for ages before they got signed. In fact, they were a band that spawned, it was like a training ground for people who then left and went to other bands and became successful. And then these guys kind of got left behind until they finally got signed in '84, I think. And as I look at my notes here, I forgot, but Craig Goldy was one of those guys. Jakey Lee was in Rough Cutt before he went to Ozzy. And he also, of course, was in Rat for a time. But Craig Goldy was in Rough Cutt and then wound up in other bands. Claude Schnell, I guess, was in Rough Cutt for a time, although Claude Schnell's a keyboard player. I didn't know Rough Cutt had a keyboard. But those guys both went to Dio, probably because Wendy Dio managed Rough Cutt and said, hey, come on over here. Paul Shortino, the singer, went to Quiet Riot, we all know, for like their 4th album, I believe it was. And it's just really interesting stuff. So, all right. So Rough Cutt, they became active in 1981 and stayed active through 87 when they kind of finally all broke apart and went other directions. The list, I put together a list one time of all the people who were in Rough Cutt at a time, at any time. And boy, yeah, it's a mile long. I think I may have already talked about that in one of the other videos on the channel. I don't remember which one. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, God, everybody in LA was in Rough Cutt at some point, pretty much. So what happens is they get signed to Warner Brothers, and they release 2 albums, the debut and the second album, which is called Wants You, like Rough Cutt Wants You. And yeah, I like the cover on the first album. It looks dark and broody and, you know, aggressive and stuff, and that's cool. I mean, it's not wonderful, but it's pretty cool. The knife through the heart and the spider and the spider web and all that. Then the second album comes out, well, cassette at that point, although it was released on vinyl. Nobody was buying vinyl by 1986 or 87 when that came out. And it has one of the worst album covers literally imaginable. And to make matters even worse, the album sounds like that a little bit. So, I mean, I may review that too at some point. I do own the album. I like the album. I still listen to the album occasionally, but it does not even compare to the first album, in my opinion. And some people may disagree with that, and for those people, I'm happy for you. That's great. I wish I felt that way, but I don't. Anyway. So Ted Templeman was supposed to produce the debut album for Rough Cutt, but he was busy working with other artists like David Lee Roth, Eric Clapton, and Aerosmith at the time, and Rough Cutt lost patience and decided to go ahead and record the debut album with Tom Allom instead as the producer. They opened for Crocus on their tour for their the Blitz album, with Accept also, and then went to tour open with Dio on the Sacred Heart tour. There's so much confusing history there that I don't feel qualified to really go into that, because anything I tell you has probably got a chance of being sort of miscommunicated or just plain wrong. The point I want to cover today is this album. Holy gods, this is a fun album to listen to. And I don't know why people didn't. Like, nobody took the time. Now, as we listen to a little bit of track 1 here, I'm going to say maybe it's that opening riff. Now, I remember my friends and I, pretty much all of whom either were metal addicts or played instruments, and like, you know, everybody was a guitar player and stuff. And we would listen to that and we would smirk and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they wrote that riff like that. Like it's all chromatic and wah, 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 wah. It's so weird. And the first time, or for several times we heard it, we were like it almost sounds like somebody made a mistake. Now, I freaking love it. And the song is fantastic. It's incredible. And I love the riff. But the first time you heard that in '85, there wasn't anything else quite like it. And I think it was a little off-putting. Maybe I'm wondering. I don't know. If you ever felt that way back in the day, or if you are hearing it for the first time now, let me know if that's what you think. But I love it now. I freaking love it. It's a great song. And, okay, so this one was co-written with Ronnie, Alford, Ronnie James Dio, Craig Goldy, and then the guys in the band mainly. And I just find that interesting. I wonder who came up with that riff, but the song's amazing. And that's another thing about this album. If you're a guitar player, you've got to get this album. I mean, or, CD or whatever. And the good thing about the album is you can get it now on one of those Rock Candy remasters. You're going to pay like 15, 17, 20 bucks for it, but dude, it's worth it. Get out and get this thing. You'll probably have to order it online unless you have a really great music store in your neighborhood. But listen to that song. Gosh. Well, give me a minute. I'll talk about the vocals in a bit. But yeah, it's just incredible. And this band, I freaking love this band. Like, these guitar players are so good, and tasteful and aggressive. I mean, they're all over those necks on this album. It's just incredible. And I love the riffs and the rhythms and the changes. And the freaking rhythm section in this band is incredible too. I love this drummer. I wanted to be this bass player and this drummer. And because I was listening and I'm like, well, I can't play those guitar leads. I mean, they're just, my hands won't do that way. But yeah, incredible band, incredible. And we're only one song in here, folks. But anyway, yeah, it's really fun. And if you like this song, you're going to like this album a lot. Okay, track 2 is, I think, in the running for greatest cover song ever recorded. And here it is. That is so great. So great. I don't even understand how that song did not, it just explode. Like, this album should have been big. It was 85. If it was 86 when this came out, I would have said, nah, it probably just got lost in the shuffle. But in 85, this album should have been huge. And it just wasn't. And I don't understand it. And, like, okay, well, let's talk about the song. All right, so the song is called Piece of My Heart. Everybody knows it because Janis Joplin made it famous. But Janis Joplin did not write the song, and Janis Joplin did not originally record the song. That was Irma Franklin. Look her up if you're young and see what she had to offer. Whew. But then Janis Joplin did it. It got huge. It was a big hit for her. Man, did they cover it. And boy, did Paul Shortino have the voice for it. And that's what I've been wanting to talk about, and now I'm going to. Like, and this is not necessarily the best example of it on this album, but that freaking voice. You know, and that's something like, let's do a little vocal appreciation conversation here. Like, everybody in the world, everybody who's going to watch this video, everybody anywhere wants to be a lead singer. All of us, we all do. It's the obvious choice. And you get to go out there in the front and emote to people and scream and, you know, and have them all worship you because you're the lead singer. I mean, you're Robert Plant, you're Steven Tyler, you're Paul Stanley, you're, I mean, whoever you want to be, right? Well, being Paul Shortino would have been great. Oh my God. Like, to be a lead singer, it takes at least a couple of really amazing qualities put together in one person. One of those is the skill and knowledge of how to sing. But the other quality is a great sounding voice, singing voice. Guys like Paul Shortino, Steve Perry, Steven Tyler, Jeff Keith from Tesla. Oh my God. Those kind of guys just have that, like Janis Joplin too, for that matter. Certain people, and the list goes on, but because basically if you're a famous singer, you've got that, like Sebastian Bach for sure. But you know, like, of all of those, guys like Jeff Keith and Paul Shortino are right up there for me with Steve Perry kind of guys, where every note that comes out of them, you're just like, whoa, that is so, like, it just sounds so good. And I remember watching the documentary about the making of the Stars song, that Hearing Aid, remember that? Like in that was 85, I think, or something like that. Yeah, 85. But anyway, Paul Shortino, if you watch that video documentary, Paul Shortino got a lot of lead vocal spots in that song throughout it. Probably because Ronnie's wife managed Rough Cutt and Ronnie was trying to help the boys out, you know. But also because he deserved it. Like, he had one of the coolest voices in that studio. And there were some cool voices in that studio. Jeff Tate was there, Rob Halford was there, Ronnie was there, you know, Don Dokken, all these guys, just like gobs of great singers. And But you can watch the parts where Paul Shortino's recording his vocals, and he's standing there in the vocal booth. He's got the mic right in front of him, and like his voice is just the coolest thing on the planet. It's awesome. So anyway, when I listen to this album, I'm always just blown away because there's not a weak link in this band at all. Like, they've got everybody at the top of their game. And now I will say, I think this is one of those albums that, like, and over time I've come to feel like the whole album is really, really, really good. But to me, side one, back when I got this in the 80s, I had the cassette, of course, and I would listen to side one, and then I would rewind it and listen to it again. And I never flipped it over really and listened to side two, maybe a couple of times a year, if that. Because side one, and not every song on side one, but 3 of the songs on side one, I just could not get over how great they were. And this is one of them, this cover. This was my first favorite thing on the album. And my God, that guitar sound on the opening chord. Are you kidding? Wow. That whole, like, I don't know how you turn that off or you go, meh, when you hear that. That's just stunning. One of the great chords in rock history, in my opinion. I don't know if it's quite at the same place with that A minor at the beginning of Hard Day's Night, but you remember it when you hear it. Okay, so anyway, again, I think one of the greatest covers ever recorded. I really sincerely mean that. I've always felt that way since I heard it the first time. And I just think this band is freaking incredible. Now, you gotta, like, the guitar player in me wants to isolate the solos every time I talk about a song, because every solo on the album is just awesome. And so here's this solo. Yeah, see, wasn't that great? I mean, I'm not going to do that with every solo, but I had to do it with at least one. Well, 2, because I think I just did it on Take Her also. Oh, wait, I didn't? Okay, well, how about now? Yeah, see, these guys are just freaking awesome. All right, so up next, track 3, Never Gonna Die.
You know that think we're crazy. You know that think we're all insane. When Friday brings the weekend, the night will be over again. The thrill of rock and roll music, the rhythm pushes down the street. They like to touch their freedom. They like to have you at their feet.
This was written by a couple of guys named Brad Carr and Mark Gable. So this is somebody else wrote this, not the band, and I can remember always thinking, and I still do, like I like the song. It's a perfectly good song, but on this album, it's the wimpy song, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. Having it third on the album didn't thrill me. Like I get it. I understand why they would put it there. Maybe they thought, well, that's the hit. It's not the hit. You don't want a hit on this album. That's how you get metal fans. You don't, puss out on track 3 to get people to dance to you. If you want to do Take Her as your opening song, and then a cover of Piece of My Heart that cracks windows when it starts. And the rest of the album's heavier than those. Most of it. It's a little poppy, but it does lead us to track 4, Dreamin' Again.
There's a misty blue rising, setting in the east, and the rainbow has fallen, a pot of gold at my feet. When I woke up that morning with no one by my side, I thought for a moment, like a flash before my eyes. Oh no, I feel I'm dreaming again. Oh no, I'm dreaming. Oh no, I feel I'm dreaming again. Oh no, I'm dreaming.
Oh my God. Favorite track on the album. Why? Well, here, let me play a little bit more of it for you.
The dead change, my mind drifts away to a place that's on my own. When I close my eyes, to my surprise, I'm dreaming again. Oh no, now the picture is clear, and there's nothing to fear. If they should turn out the lights, if I face my fears, they'll all disappear like things that come up in the night. Oh no, I feel I'm dreaming again. Oh no, I'm dreaming. Oh no, I feel I'm dreaming again. Oh no, I'm dreaming.
Okay, you like that part? Well, what about this part? Okay, hope you don't mind. I just decided to play the whole thing. What the hell? God, what a song. Now, this is written by the band, and Wendy Dio contributed to it as well. Interesting, huh? I always thought Ronnie did, but it was actually Wendy. Now, this song has blown me away from the first time I heard it come on, and then when it kicks in for the chorus the first time, I'm just like, wow. In my opinion, the whole album is worth it when you get this song. But then you get a bunch of other good heavy stuff too. I mean, go please, people. You can probably, let me check. I bet you can still order this thing. Yeah, you can still get this. If you want, you can get the MP3 of the album for $7.99 on Amazon. At least you can listen to it, you know. Or you can get the debut, and I'm sure the second album, I didn't look it up. You can still order physical vinyl copies or CDs of the debut on Discogs, and they're not that expensive. They're not bad. So yeah, like if you like what you're hearing, go get it. I promise, if you've got taste and you like this kind of music, you're not going to regret it. I just, like, this is, I don't know what else to say. Like, I could just stop the review right here is how I feel. Because you've heard the best song on the album now, in my opinion anyway. And if you didn't like, even if you don't agree that it's the best song on the album, if you didn't like that one, you're probably not going to bother with the rest of it. So, I don't know. But that voice, again, that voice just kills me. And the sheer amount of taste, good taste, that these guitarists use in these solos, wow. That's the guitar player I wanted to be when I was 17. That's how I wanted to play. I wanted to be able to just, they do all these amazing acrobatic things with their hands, but they're so tasteful, and they know how to serve the song and still show off at the same time, which is fantastic. And you know, take your time and listen to how much taste is used by this drummer. Holy crap, is he good. Like, he's the kind of drummer I wanted to be also. His name is Dave Alford, and you've probably heard the name. He's played with several other people. Matt Thorr is the bassist, and he's incredible too. You've got Chris Hager and Amir Derakh, and then you've got Paul Shortino, of course, on lead vocals, and they're just great. They're really, really great, and it's such a shame. You can go, if you're curious, you can get on YouTube right now, after you watch this whole video, please, and you can look up, just search Rough Cutt, and I guarantee you some live clips will come up of a show that they did back around this time. I've watched several clips before, and you can usually find them in just individual song clips if you want, or maybe you can find the whole show still. And they're great live too. They're a really good live band. So anyway, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, what I have to do to convince you, but this is a great listening experience. Up next, track 5, Cut Your Heart Out.
Dreams, mental paradise.
Okay, and now if it wasn't heavy enough for you before, now it probably is. And there's not a lot more to say. I'm going to play little clips from each of the songs just to give you a better idea of what the rest of the album is. But, I mean, we're pretty much done here, I think. Up next, track 6, first song on side 2, written by, the band and Wendy Dio. And, not surprisingly. And the song is called Black Widow.
She winds and twines from her silken bed. She winds and dines. The woman must be fed. Lips of venom in a kiss of death. She takes it all till there's nothing left. She's a black widow, a widow of the West. She's a black widow, a widow must be fled.
Those vocals. What? Yeah, the dude can sing. Phew. Did I already mention I put him up there with like Steve Perry and Jeff Keith and you know what I mean? Like what? Those and this guy could have sung for a band like Journey too if he wanted. Like he really could have. I think he could have gotten away with that any day. But yeah, like what a and it's heavy again, and it's. I just love the way these guys are. They're really adventurous in their songs. Like they go all over the place and do different weird stuff that works. All right. Anyway, up next, track 7. You Keep Breaking My Heart.
The power of love burns in my heart. The thought of this woman and a fever starts. The passion consumed in the heat of a night. A burning sensation on an endless way. A potion of love, a box full of tricks. A mysterious woman, desirable witch. She lights up my life. She lights up the dark. She's the woman who keeps breaking my heart. It's tearing me apart. You keep breaking my heart. Sophisticated lover.
How did this album not get really big and Poison sold like 6 million fucking copies? Are you serious? What's wrong with you people? Not you people, but you know what I mean? Those people? Come on. And I bought Poison too, but I already had this a year earlier. So that was cool. That was all right. Yeah. And then this is written by the entire band, which is cool. Okay, so another great song. I always have kind of felt like side 2's maybe a little heavier than side 1. I like side 1 as much as any side 1 just about that I can think of. Like I said before, but now I'm like, man, side 2 kicks ass. Okay, up next, track 8, written by Matt Thorr, the bass player, and Paul Shortino. The Kids Will Rock. Now, will they? Let's find out.
This life's a game to learn how to play. When I hear them talking and I hear them say, they say grow up in at your age.
really great song. It is. I could have done without the kids singing in the chorus, but at least it's not one of those, like they're not singing about flowers and sunshine. It's just a brief scream several times kind of thing. But yeah, it's a pretty cool song, and like those verses are really cool. And his voice is just amazing. Just always amazing. Up next, the song we always wished we'd gotten from Kiss on the album by the same name, but we never got. Dressed to Kill, track 9.
Get me silver slippers, satin sheets, champagne sandals in the air. Everything I want, you let me give me. Oh my girl, I need love out there. She give me thrills, give me chills. She's the woman who's dressed to kill. She thrills, cold chills. Oh, she's the woman who's dressed to kill. She gives me thrills, she thrills. She's dressed to kill.
Okay, and now I probably don't like this one quite as much as some of the other songs on the album, but that's not like, it's still a really cool song, and it's heavy, and that guitar sounds amazing, or I should say those guitars. I really like the production on this album, especially, I'm gonna say here, compared to the production on the second album, the Rough Cut Wants You album with the stupid, horrible cover. God, I wish I could have. I wish I could have worked for some of these record companies, or I wish I could have been. What's his name? The guy with the beard and the long hair. What's his name? That guy. The guy that worked with Aerosmith and all those other bands. I wish I could have been that kind of guy where, bands called me and said, hey, we've recorded for the album. Will you come listen to it and tell us what you think? And he worked for the record companies, I think sort of freelance a little bit, and worked for Geffen for a while, for sure. And he would go in and he'd go, look, you need this. And he had a really funny voice. Look, you need to do this, and don't do that. That's terrible. Your album, what are you going to have for an album cover? That album cover's stupid. You can't release this music with that album cover. I want to be that guy. I can't think of his name. I've talked about him on the channel before. You guys know who I'm talking. I'll put his picture up here when I figure out his name and find a picture of him. There he is. That guy. I want to be that guy. I want that to be I believe that was my calling in life, is to advise these bands and these record companies on how not to fuck up a perfectly good thing. For God's sake, what are you thinking? That album cover? Really? For the second album? And we haven't even talked about the second album. But I can tell you, that album cover is not helping, is it? You go and you see that in the music store? I did. And I saw the cassette and I was like, a new Rough Cut. Because I saw just the edge. It said Rough Cut Wants You. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it was white background. And I'm like, yeah. Jumps right out at you. And I grab it and I pick it up and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then I listened to that album and I'm like, even if these songs were cool, that album cover just ruins the whole thing for me. I don't know what to do about this. Anyway, I want to be that guy. That guy. Yeah. So, okay, Dress to Kill, pretty good. It's cool. It's still heavy, meaty stuff. And, all right, last track on the album, She's Too Hot. Hot spelled with 2 T's, as you'll notice, like Cutt is spelled with 2 T's. Wow. Valuable heavy metal English lessons here today, boys and girls. Tune in for more some other time. I don't know. Here we go.
It was a cold and windy morning, a day like any other day. I was locked inside my world, embarrassing the time away. Then looked out the window, I saw her walking down the street. So I ran down the stairs, ran down the block, began you when you need a lover. She's too hot, yeah, to handle. She's too cold to know. She's too hot, yeah, to handle.
Okay, and still pretty good stuff. Not really my kind of thing. I don't love these songs a lot on these albums, but that's okay. I mean, it's still pretty good. It's still cool. Like, it's still better than a lot of albums that outsold it. I just don't know why. I don't get it. What was the deal? Now, their second album, which I will probably have to talk about at some point, I just don't like this album. They have produced by Tom Allom, as I said a little while ago, famous for producing not only several other bands, but Judas Priest for much of their career. And then the second album, they go with, honestly, maybe one of my favorite producers of all time, Jack Douglas, famous for working with John Lennon and Aerosmith a lot. He did Aerosmith's second, third, and fourth albums, which are really big albums. Like for Aerosmith, that's their peak, basically, a lot of people would say. And also worked with Cheap Trick and, the New York Dolls, and then he produces their second album, and I'm just like, what in the hell is that? But anyway, we'll get back to talk about that some other time, and I appreciate you guys tuning in for this, if you did. I just think this band is fantastic. They're another one of those bands I thought was absolutely great. And for some reason, people just never gave them a chance. Now, what would that reason be? Well, I'll tell you what that reason would be. Hey, your album is fantastic, but don't do this and don't do that, and it will sell. And we've got to make music videos for at least a couple of these songs, and they've got to be the right songs. They had videos for Piece of My Heart and Never Gonna Die, just as you would expect. Because the big in thing in 1985, thanks to Motley Crue, was covering old songs from the 60s. And they did theirs and took their turn at it. It's a great song to have a video for. I applaud them for that. Good decision. Never Gonna Die, not so much. Should have been a music video for Dreamin' Again. And I swear, if you're a metal band or a hard rock band, aim at your audience. Stop worrying about the Michael Jackson crowd. Nothing against Michael Jackson, I'm just saying. That's not your crowd. Anyway, alright, I'm out of here, folks. I'll be back with another video. I will, sometime later.